Hey guys, Jeremy Jacobowitz here. If you're new, welcome. If you're not new, welcome back. It's lovely seeing your beautiful faces. This is all about my food adventures all over the world. And today we're going on a very special food adventure. We're going to Springfield because joining me today is Yeardley Smith herself, Lisa Simpson, and we are going to make a tier list ranking the best food in the Simpsons, best and the worst, I guess, food of the Simpsons 33 seasons worth of episodes, which is so crazy. I'm a gigantic Simpsons nerd. It is ingrained in my soul. I've watched it almost every single day for years and years and years and years and years. And truly an honor to have her on. So let's bring on Yardley. Thank you, Yardley, so much for coming on with me to talk Simpsons, which is, I mean, I don't know how much I told you about me, but I am a total Simpsons nerd. As I'm sure I know every single person says that to you. You're like, yeah, really, for 30 years.
No, you're the first one.
I know, the first one ever to be a Simpsons nerd. Who would think? But like, truly, such an honor. This show has meant everything to me. It has made me who I am. Literally, I always say, like, even on my dating profile, it says it's like something about like you quote too much. I'm like, Simpsons. I quote too much of Simpsons. That's it. Like, if you want to date me, you're gonna have to understand these jokes. So
I love it.
You only have to catch up 33 seasons if you don't know what I'm talking about.
No pressure.
We're gonna talk Simpsons food, but I know first that you have a new project on YouTube that you wanted to chat with me about. It seems super cool.
I do. So during the pandemic, I actually really like to cook, and I'm a pretty good cook. And so during the pandemic, I started my own cooking show on Instagram and YouTube called Oil and Water. And it was actually born out of a Simpsons food when in the Tracy Ullman shorts, Homer makes Bart some dinner, and he ultimately smashes together some fish and some pork, and he calls them porkified fish nuggets. And so I had this idea that I should make that and see how terrible it is. And it turns out it's actually not that terrible. I used a really mild fish. I used flounder, sole, basically, and some ground pork. And I rolled them in. I made like little sort of nuggets, like elongated meatball shaped things. And rolled them in panko and fried them. And they were not terrible. Jeremy, they were not terrible. But it gave me this idea that wouldn't it be funny to do a cooking show where you combine ingredients that don't ordinarily go together and see what happens. So that was the birth of Oil and Water. And I did that for, I think, about a year and a half. And some of the things were also, again, like surprisingly not terrible. Some of the things were so bad we had to set them on fire. And and then I sort of got tired of adding sardines to my dessert as a concept. So I thought I would pivot from that and start to cook things from internet chefs, some cookbook chefs, chefity chefs, as I like to say, all things that I've never made before, things that look really good to me, and see if when I make them, they're actually stupid good, which is like good times a billion.
And has it been successful so far?
Yes. Okay. Actually, I've made, and I love, I think one of the things that's most fabulous for me about cooking these recipes is seeing what all these home chefs are doing. So, Joy the baker, who, according to her story, she lives in New Orleans and she just likes to bake, and she's thought, I'm just gonna bake things, and now she's this massive presence, right? Half Baked Harvest, same. Tegan Gerard, she cooks out of her barn. That's a hell of a barn, I'm telling you, in Colorado. Spoon Fork Bacon, maybe the best name for a food blog ever, stuff like that. So, yes, I've made some really phenomenal. People are making some good shit out there, that's all I can tell you.
I love it. Okay, so I've made a little tier list. Have you done a tier list before?
I don't think so. What's a tier list?
So I actually haven't made it either. It's like a YouTube trend thing, but it's basically, so I have the screen shared here. So what I did was I went through, I tried to pick like some classic sort of Simpsons dishes. Not everything, because it's obviously there's too many to pick from. And we're going to list out where we think they should go from good to best. And the fun thing about the tier list is you get to like pick which category it is. So we're going to start at the top and like excuse these terrible impressions. The top is going to be best, and it's going to be like, woohoo! Right?
That's perfect.
Oh, okay. Oh, well, okay.
That's perfect. Woohoo! As Lisa Simpson would say. You're in the family, Jeremy.
Next is excellent.
Yes, Mr. Burns.
Mr. Burns, of course. In the middle, we have Oakley Dokley.
Flanders.
Next, we have what? Which is going to be more like, it's Mo, yes. It's going to be like, sound like, could be good, but very confusing. And then, of course, what is going to be the worst is we have Dough. So,
right.
Let's go through these here. So the first one I have is steamed hams, which I will admit to you, I still don't understand the internet sensation behind it. It's like a giant meme, but I feel like, how do I not? I don't understand the meme.
I don't understand it either.
It's very odd that like the internet has picked up on this very tiny little part of The Simpsons and has blown it out of proportion. But at the same time, the idea of steamed ham seems okay. But of course, Principal Skinner, it's just burnt burgers. So to me, they don't sound that delicious.
Indeed. And actually, steamed hams, because I was like, oh, steamed hams, because it's such a familiar phrase, I feel like, in our modern lexicon now, and it had lost all its meaning to me, so I actually had to go back and look it up. And it's not even the burnt burgers.
It's
a misunderstanding.
Yes. Okay.
Right? So the luncheon he's cooking for Chalmers catches on fire in his oven. He's like, oh shit, now what? Right. And then he's climbing out the window to go to Krusty Burger to get some fast food. And Chalmers walks in and goes, what the hell are you doing? And he goes, and he says, steamed clams. He comes back with these burgers. And Chalmers like, you said it was steamed clams. He goes, oh, no, you misheard me. It's steamed hams. And
even I now have misremembered everything. Well, wonderful. How about that?
It's so obscure. It's so obscure. Like, but really.
Where do you want to rank this one? We have woohoo, excellent, Oakley Dokley, what, and dough.
I think we put it in wah. Wah?
Okay. I mean, we're both very confused by it. So I think that's why we have this
here.
And
also, I mean, I guess... Do people steam hams? I feel like they roast a ham and then glaze the ham.
Yeah, you don't really steam them.
Is there room in the world for a steamed ham? I don't know. Okay.
I don't know. All right, next, let's go with tobacco. Now, we could obviously just use the tomato, or we could, they make tobacco pies or, something like that. You know what's funny about this? It is obviously... disgusting, but there's something intriguing about it. I think I would try it.
I feel like it's a distant cousin. I don't have any children, but I know moms, and there are now lots of cookbooks out about moms who hide vegetables in foods that don't seem vegetable-y for their children, right? Mm-hmm. So, really the original zucchini bread is I'm going to hide a bunch of zucchini. Right. Are you allowed to swear on your show?
Yeah, do whatever.
Oh, I was going to say, you hide a bunch of zucchini in this fucking loaf of bread, right? That's sweet, and you serve it for tea or breakfast. So if the premise of tobacco is that you can get a nicotine hit from eating a tomato, then it's really, it's genetically modified food to the nth degree.
Right.
So it's possible that it doesn't actually affect the taste of the tomato.
Oh.
Therefore,
okay, that's intriguing.
Right?
Okay, yeah.
Therefore, you could have all sorts of tobacco things like tobacco sauce, tobacco.
But it still retains the addictive nature of it.
Indeed.
Oh, okay.
So yes, it's not good for you. But if you feel like I really need that hit and I'm not allowed to smoke in the house, I'm going to eat a tobacco. I guess you could do that.
Okay, well,
so I mean, what do you think? I think maybe Oakley Dokley.
Oakley Dokley? All right, yeah. Yeah. I mean, if we're going to go with your premise that it doesn't taste terrible,
right?
I guess I'm okay putting it there, where it's still just a tomato, I guess,
Right. I'm in no way advocating nicotine addiction, but if we're talking purely food and flavor, you could probably. It's not the first time they've tried to sneak stuff into food and fool you.
Next up, how about we go with Paul McCartney's lentil soup recipe, which obviously played like a huge pivotal role in Lisa Simpson's life and everything.
Yes. That definitely right up to the top to woohoo.
I agree.
I don't know if you know the story about when Paul and Linda McCartney came on the show. They said they would only do it if Lisa Simpson remained a vegetarian for the rest of the series. And I think at that time, I can't actually remember what season that was, but I think we were probably in the early teens, maybe right? 12,
before that, but early, yeah, for sure. Maybe.
So let's like go on the outside and say it was season 10. All the fans are going to be like, "You suck, Yeardley." I can't believe you can't remember that.
I personally am going to get ridiculed after I announced myself as a giant Simpsons nerd and then forgot everything immediately.
We both suck. I'm on the show, and you have no idea either. But so let's say, just for the sake of argument, on the outside, they said she has to remain a vegetarian for the rest of the length of the show, and I think everybody thought like, oh, great. Well, that'd be awesome if we went 5 more years. And now, here we are at we're about to start recording season 34, and I have to say, the writers have been absolutely true to their word. Lisa Simpson has she has experimented with eating bugs, and it kept her up at night because she's like, have I now eaten an animal? Have I broken my vegetarian oath? And I can't remember what she decided. I think she did. I can't remember. I know it's terrible. I'm sorry.
I can't remember.
I love all the fans. I love my show. It's just so many.
It's a lot of episodes.
It's a lot of episodes, and I absolutely love that Paul McCartney actually gave us a lentil soup recipe that they played over the end credits. It's so brilliant, and it looks like a really solid. Have you tried it?
No, I haven't. No, but I'm saying like the end credits is, I forget which song it is, but it's in there only if you play the song backwards.
That's right, which I don't even know how you do. That's way above my pay grade. Do you know how to do that?
I mean, I guess I could. Yeah, I mean, I would have to record it somehow, get the recording, and then and the video editing software I could do. Maybe I'll try it on this video. Although I can't play a Beatles song in anything. I'll get the video taken down 2 seconds. Next, why don't we go with, how about just like a classic pink donut, a Homer Simpson staple? Those always look amazing.
And I love that they've actually become ubiquitous at donut shops. Whether
I went
or not
to Simpsons, like Universal World at Universal Studios. I got like one of the giant ones.
Did you get the giant one? Isn't that fun?
Yes.
So fantastic. Oh my God. I love that they did that. I love that Krispy Kreme actually has a pink sprinkled donut that they call the Simpsons donut, right? But even if you're not going to give a nod to the show as sort of the origin of this now visually classic glazed donut with pink frosting and multicolored sprinkles, I feel like every donut shop has them. And it's part of, if you're on the 20th Century Fox lot where we record the show, in the outside the writer's bungalow, there's it's made of plastic because otherwise it would melt in the very occasional rain we get. But it's Homer's hand. It has the Simpsons movie logo below the hand, and just the hand holding the pink donut. That's how sort of iconic it's become. Synonymous. And so that definitely goes with woohoo. Who doesn't love a good donut?
All right. We'll put it up there. All right, let's go with another Homer treat here. This is Homer's patented space-age, out-of-this-world moon waffle, which I had to remind myself of what it was. I remember him making it, but it takes a bag of caramel, melts it in the waffle maker with the waffle batter, adds 1 ounce of liquid smoke, takes it out, and then wraps it around a stick of butter.
Yes. Okay. I'm so glad you said that because I was like, I do not remember the moon waffle. I admit it. And he did it while he was skipping church, which Homer
this
would
is
just
an
about
early.
anything
This
to
must
do.
be season 3. This is a very long time ago.
I don't know. Could be last season too. Although he's not allowed to skip church anymore. I feel. And all it really said was that he made this waffle, but it didn't go into the detail that you just did. But it did have the picture of the waffle wrapped around a stick of butter. I also remember an episode, and maybe it's the same episode, where Homer fries a stick of butter and eats it.
I've had that. Have you had that?
No, what? No, Jeremy.
It's like it's a state fair treat.
Yes, but how do you do it without the butter melting? Is the butter frozen?
So what you do, yes, you freeze the butter, you then batter it, and then you fry it, and then it's encased in the fry, and it melts in there. So then you take a bite out of it, and it literally just explodes butter all over your face.
I mean, I like butter, but I don't know, like fried butters.
It's a lot. It's a lot.
Do
All
they
right,
have
so
like
I feel like
defibrillators standing nearby just to revive you in case?
well, it's a tiny little bit.
I
feel like you want to put this in. I mean, it's gross.
It's gross. I think it goes with no.
All right.
Yeah,
at the bottom.
I think. I mean, I feel like the waffle. No, because then he adds liquid smoke to the waffle, and that's just wrong.
I don't
It's wrong in every way.
either.
So boo to that.
How about we go with a squishy?
Oh, sure. Classic squishy. Mm-hmm. I did love, it was years ago, it was when actually the Simpsons movie came out, so I think that was around 2007. And they changed a bunch of 7-Elevens into Quickie Marts.
Oh, I remember
all around
that.
the country.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And they sold squishies, which is sort of, the kissing cousin to a good old Slurpee. I think it goes with to excellent.
That's exactly what I was thinking. Where it's probably good. It's probably good,
Yeah, it's probably good. I mean, if you love that sort of thing, like I used to love Pixie Sticks, I don't eat those anymore. If it's just pure sugar and a little colored water and some shit, I don't know, but why not?
Next, how about we go with the malk, which is milk made from rats. That, of course, Fat Tony was serving to the school children.
That's right. Which...
Although what's funny is when I Googled this, because I was trying to find photos of it, malk is now a real product. It's not rat milk. It is some other sort of protein, non-dairy thing. And I was like, ooh, that's really funny that they didn't put this together. That is how I would always see it as rat.
Like that seems super unfortunate that you would call your product malk especially after we've referenced it in our way. Ugh. That definitely goes to no.
Yeah.
Because that is disgusting. I don't care how much money you're trying to save. Fuck that. Okay.
It's very. You're just funny. I was watching your videos. It's very odd hearing that voice curse.
I know. The trouble is, I swear a lot, but I really try to read the room because obviously if you're with somebody who, and sometimes I've read it completely wrong and I can tell like, uh-oh, that was the wrong choice, Yeardley. Uh-oh.
Next, how about we'll stick with the liquids. A good old-fashioned Duff beer.
Yeah, so I actually think I'm not a beer drinker. It's the only alcohol I don't gravitate toward. I've sort of never been a beer drinker, but I think you can actually buy Duff beer. Have you ever had Duff beer?
I think, again, when I was at Universal Studios, they had it there, like whatever they just wanted to call it. It might have been something totally different, but they felt like calling it Duff beer.
Yes. So I'm going to have to rely on you on which tier you think it should go.
I'll go...
It might Oakley Dokley.
I was thinking Oakley Dokley. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, it's beer. It's good. But I don't think it's,
Right.
Should be hard.
It's not else. The king of beers.
Yes,
it's
exactly.
Not fancy pants beer.
Next, how about the gummy Venus de Milo?
Ah, this is so great. First of all, I love when you read about it on the interweb. It says it's made by artists who work in the medium of gummy. And you just already know what that means. You're like, oh, I get that. Mm-hmm,
of course.
Sure.
Yeah.
I think definitely excellent. If
exactly
not,
what
maybe. Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
it seems like a very special piece of candy.
It's
I gotta try it.
It's the rarest of gummies. And as long as I feel like, I know they made it green on the show, but I hope it's not lime flavored. I hope it's like sour apple or something.
Ooh. Yeah, I'll take a sour apple. That sounds a lot better.
Yeah.
How about Krustio's cereal? Hopefully we don't get ones with the jagged edges, but maybe it's just the cereal.
Well, as we know, anything that Krusty makes is highly questionable. You think in your head, at least in our world, you think Krustios are akin to Cheerios, but don't bet on it.
I feel like there's got to be a lot more sugar.
100%, and maybe just a bunch of cardboard dust or something. Or plywood dust. So, let's see. Well, they're not confusing, and they're probably not terrible.
Yeah.
But...
Dokey?
Yes, I think so.
All right.
You know, I have to say, it's very funny when we agreed to talk about Simpsons food, I thought, there's not a lot of very good Simpsons food, Jeremy. There's a lot of shit out there. Like, terrible stuff.
This way.
But there's, oh gosh, I wish I could remember her name. She recently came out with an unofficial Simpsons cookbook.
Uh-huh.
And I again thought, like, how in the world are you going to make an entire cookbook out of food that most of us don't want to eat?
Like when I was doing research, like there were so many. It's wild.
It's wild, and because I also remember sometimes at premiere parties when we used to have those for the beginning of a season, they would serve Simpsons like Moe's bar food.
Okay.
I'm not even kidding you. The biggest jar of pickled eggs you've ever seen. You're like, nobody wants that.
It's the only food he has.
Nobody wants that. Or those huge, super huge pickles, which are just, they're not really big party food. It's just, dude. Yeah. Anywho, carry on.
Well, speaking of Moe's, why don't we do the Flaming Homer / Flaming Moe? Of course, the cocktail Homer makes, that the special ingredient being cough syrup.
So, once again, I feel like there's this obsession of sneaking in an ingredient that doesn't belong. Some people, I suppose, it being a bar, cough syrup having a high level of alcohol in it, it could be a cheap way to serve your patrons some alcohol. What else is in the Flaming Moe's? Do we even know?
I don't remember. I just remember that. I remember that secret ingredient and then light on fire. Yeah.
That's right. And that was, I mean, I personally don't like the taste of cough syrup. So I'm going to go with what?
Okay. Yep.
Yeah.
I think that's perfect. And then last one, a classic Krusty Burger.
Oh, just
you
no.
See,
really?
It seems really good. I don't know. Everyone's always scarfing them down. I'm like, I would eat one of them.
Well, we have to distinguish if we're talking about a Krusty Burger in the Simpsons Springfield or a Krusty Burger at like Universal theme park where they're serving Krusty Burgers and it's actual beef.
I'm sure those are fine. Well,
yes.
You don't think they're beef in the Simpsons?
I do not. I think there's probably entrails of all sorts of the rats from which they get the milk. And maybe some sawdust and some, I don't know, compost. I'm just saying. I feel like Krusty he's so jaded and a little bit shady. Like, he doesn't care what goes in his burger.
So
he just wants to make the dough.
You're thinking dough.
Yes, and I'm thinking no. I am thinking no.
All right. Well, that's it. I think we have a nice little definitive list here of only like a small portion of the Simpsons food and universe and everything. Thank you so much. This has been like an absolute treat and amazing, and like swear to you, like a memory I will have forever. This truly means
Well,
everything.
let's make another memory sometime soon. I would love it. This was so fun.
Yeah, thank you. And now if anyone wants to follow you or find the videos, where could they do that?
Yes, so you can find the videos for Stupid Good at Oil and Water, at Oil and Water Food on Instagram and also YouTube. And so we're having Oil and Water Presents Stupid Good, right? Yeah. And then you can also catch up on all the Oil and Water episodes, which are also quite entertaining, needless to say. And my personal handles are at Yeardley Smith on Twitter and at Yeardley_Smith on Instagram.
All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. Let me know in the comments below what you think. Did we get it right? Did we get it wrong? Where would you rank the Simpsons food? Were there any Simpsons dishes that we missed? Let me know. Follow, sub, like the video, share the video, do all those things. And I'll see you next time.